So how did I get into HK pistols? Well, it really began in Kentucky when I was working as a case manager in a rehab, and I pretty much began a new career in substance use, and I experienced some success, and I got to the point where financially I was able to really get different types of handguns, and I was interested in a gun that was highly tested, highly reliable. I was really looking for an SHTF type of gun, and that's when I started to look at HK. I was already convinced that 45 was going to be my caliber, and I decided to go ahead and actually get a HK USP 45 because I knew it was so well tested, so highly regarded, and it was one of my first double action, single action guns. And I got to tell you that, I don't regret it at all. HK makes outstanding pistols. I'm going to talk about why, in some detail, why I like HK. One of the things I'll say right up front is that if you want different versions of their pistols, they're readily available. They have some pistols with decocker only for their double action guns. They have guns where they have no external safety, just decocker only. They have guns where they have the external safety. They have the LEM version where it's more like same trigger squeeze every single time if you're not interested in double action, single action. So pretty awesome. Let's get into it. All right, so the three things that appeal to me most about HK is the fact that they're supremely high quality production firearms, absolutely outstanding in that sense. Two, a lot of their models, all their brands have been tested by third parties, by militaries, and it's pretty impressive. Three is the fact that it's so different from what I'm used to. It has features that you won't find on a lot of American guns, and I just find it to be really fascinating. I like the history behind some of these guns. Let me just start with this one, the HK USP 45 Tactical. Probably one of the most tested polymer semi-autos you could possibly find. I love the look of the gun. I love the fact that its features, right up front, its features they're designed to actually be used in a practical manner. For example, the slide release, pretty big, it's easy to access, big chunky parts, or just easier for your thumb to actually grab onto. This is a decocker, push it up, it's a safety. This is a aftermarket adapter for optics. But the trigger guard, look at the trigger guard. It's huge. It's really designed for somebody with gloves to get their finger in there, and that's pretty impressive that they're actually thinking about stuff like that. The slide is massive, massive. This extended barrel in this tactical version has a threaded barrel, so if you want to suppress it, it could be a really good host for that. Here's a feature that really grabbed my attention. I really love this: the mag release. Okay, I do have to sort of kind of break my grip, but what I do is I just press down like that. Now you could use your trigger finger and press down like that, but I reserve my trigger finger just for the trigger. That's how I like to do things. I like the trigger on this one, the little match trigger. I think it's pretty awesome. It's a hammer fire gun, and it was really different from what I was used to. It was when I started getting into HK. It was at a time when all these manufacturers were focusing on these striker fire guns, and of course HK, they do have a striker fire gun, the VP9, but they also have a lot. They have the P30, which is a 9mm, which is kind of similar to this HK 45. HK 45 is sort of like their updated version of the USP, right? And this is just a regular version. Again, it has the paddle release, although I think the better design is to go underneath the trigger guard, because that way you don't have to worry about accessing this if you have a weaker hand grip, and you might inadvertently activate the mag release if your grip isn't great. something to think about. But yeah, I'm still able to sort of gotta break my grip a little bit to sort of access this mag. But yeah, this is the slide is a lot thinner. Well, it's trimmed down, I should say. So it is basically, if we look at it, you can see the slide's a little more trimmed down, the updated version. The capacity is down to just 10, but you have a lot of the same features you have on the USP, but you do have an updated rail, so you don't need an adapter. So this is HK45. Love this. The slide releaser is not as big as, you know, the one on the USP, but it's still big enough to be useful. They started to introduce these weird glow-in-the-dark sights, which I like more than these all blacked out sights for the USP Tactical. All right, speaking of HK45, the HK45 Compact Tactical. Now this gun has an extended barrel, threaded barrel. It should have had elevated night sights, but at least it does have night sights. I don't use suppressors, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. This is the compact version of this one. And yeah, still just 10 round capacity. You can still access that paddle release, and it runs underneath the trigger guard, which is awesome, which is what I prefer. So I think it's a better design. This one doesn't actually have a safety, external safety, a button or a trigger or whatever, external safety notch or anything like that, but it does have a decocker. So this might be, I would rather carry this than the HK45. With that said, I have carried a USP 45 before. So I really got into the 45. I never really got around to getting the P30. If I did, I wanted the P30L like John Wick had. Not that I'm gonna be performing anywhere near John Wick, but I just thought it was a cool gun. I do hear, because the trigger is not that desirable, but I've never been too picky about the triggers. Now, as much as I love the HK USP 45, I would love to see an updated version of this. I know that the HK45 is supposed to be the updated version, but you lose 2 rounds in its capacity. It's not a big deal. I think 10 rounds is more than enough to handle go into a self-defense situation with. With that said, I do prefer 12 rounds. I have pretty big hands, and most people can't really do what I'm able to do. Most people can't just do this without really significantly changing their grip. Like, I have big, long, crooked fingers. I'm able to do so, but I would love to see them take this rail for the HK45 and put it on the USP right here, so you don't need an adapter. They can just call it the HK USP 2.0 or something. You know, that would be kind of cool. I would love to see that update. A lot of people are getting into the RMRs. They want to use those optics. So I don't really care that much for it, but it would be interesting if they did put one on there. It'd be nice, you know, just make it more tactical. Other than that, maybe do something with the grip. I mean, the grip is fine, as far as I'm concerned. The Spider-Man grip, as a lot of people call it, feels great, by the way. It's the best feeling grip I've ever had, but, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 10, straight up from my hand. This is more like 8.5, but it's very adequate. I'm very comfortable with this grip, but maybe they can update the stippling or whatever for the grip. That's something that they might be able to do. HK can come up with some factory mags. I think you can add like a Terran Tactical extension, but if HK had their own extensions, higher capacity mags, that'd be kind of cool. So I would, on a tactical version, I'll get rid of the blackout sights and replace them with night sights, elevated night sights. That's what I would do. Other than that, there's not much else I would change. Maybe they might put some front serrations, like the back serrations they have up here, put them up here, and then move the name back a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, it's a great gun. I would love to see them do something like that. It'd be kind of cool if they came out with a 10mm version as well. So, all right, so these are my thoughts on HK. You guys share your thoughts. Can you tell me if you have a manufacturer that really grabbed your attention, that you just really you were just blown away by, just super impressed by.